Welcome, my name is Tishara and this is StarMade. Today I wanted to do another fleet update, and you might be thinking, why am I looking at the second fleet I released for the contest? Well, I did a bit of an update and I wanted to show them as well with the new lighting, because they look a lot better without the weird shades, shadow lines that they get on the angled blocks. So I think that's a big improvement for the game, and I really like it. What I did with these ships, I updated the interior a bit. I made some changes to that. I will show you what I did. This is the smallest fighter. I made some changes here to give it a more robotic electronic feel, and then covered up on this side most of the systems except for the jump drive. So I think this is a bit better than the previous interior I had. Could the next one, this one, I could do a bit more. It's the interior. I removed the big area over here with the robot in the middle. I made it a small hallway, maintenance hallway, that would lead to a door for the core room. This is a new core room, and it's a bit higher than, at least the floor is, than the previous one. Because if you remember correctly, if you went into the door, you had to descend 2 blocks and then you would hit the floor of the first room. I left the original floor in. You can see it a bit through the grating down here. It gives a bit more, a bit more depth to the floor, I think, to keep that way. And then I changed this core room to have a more mechanical feel with more piping and other bits and bobs. And this force field block looks like it's protecting the core. You can still enter the core, by the way, if you deactivate this force field and then jump up to the core and enter it. That still works. The biggest change, I think, is for this ship. This is the main salvage ship or mining ship of the fleet. You enter through here. It's a similar type of corridor as the previous one, but you enter in a very large space with all kinds of pipes and lights, and this walkway over here that looks down. And as you can see, the blocks down there are the storage blocks, so those will change, of course, to visual storage blocks when you're not in build mode. And I added this fellow over here. Looks like some sort of insectoid, creepoid robot with a big red eye, and it's holding the storage block within his 2 pincer claws. So beware if you try to steal the stuff from this ship, it will protect it. At least that's the idea behind it. And then this walkway will lead to the core room over here, that is practically the same as the previous one, except that this one has 2 jump drives instead of the one that the other ship had. So these are the main changes I made to the interior, and I really like them. So I will update this to the docs page, and then this can be rated in the contest itself. So let me know what you think, if you prefer the first interior or if you prefer this one. I'd like to know what you guys think. I haven't started on a 3rd fleet. I don't have the right inspiration for that yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to create a 3rd fleet or not. We'll see what comes of that, if time allows it or not. But I want to keep the fleet update format of the videos, basically to show what I'm working on at the moment. And there is one other project I want to show some progress on. It's not complete, but I think it's an interesting ship to show how I'm building and what my development cycle is. It's this ship. This is the Radiant Dawn. I already named it. And this ship will be a drone carrier. And I wanted to design it in a way that the drones would basically give the ship its purpose. So if you fit it with combat drones, it's a combat ship. If you fit it with mining drones, it's a mining ship. So it would be very modular how you use this ship. This is as far as I got with the design for now. The design style I'm using is actually a design style I used before. I used this design style on the Wavebreaker. The Wavebreaker was a missile frigate that I built based on a concept art image I found, and I developed that into StarMade. So it wasn't really the 100% my own design as a ship went, but I did, of course, design the elements that you couldn't see, for example the engines that I used here as well. Those you couldn't see on the image, so I had to think of engines myself. So I designed these particular engines. But as you can see, I've got a number of models lined up here. Basically what I did is I saved my progress once I started building every once in a while in a different version of the ship to show what my build progress was and how I got from the single core to the rest of the ship. The one thing I had the idea for this ship was for a core room, and that's a good thing because of course you start with the core in the ship, and the harshest part I think in starting a new ship is thinking where you should put your core, because if you misplace it or you want to move it later on, it's a big hassle. So I started with the bridge section, and I'm very happy that they changed the game, that the core is no longer the main focus of destroying a ship, but you need to destroy a lot more before the core needs to be shut down. And I wanted this core room to be connected to the main bridge, so this is the main bridge area. You can look through the windows here outside and you can see everything. And this is the core room itself. So as you can see over here, it's already very detailed for an interior, and the core is hidden over here in this area. You can barely see it. Can't press the button because I'm not in this ship for build mode, but I'll do that in the later versions. And because I already know where the core is going to be, I could go detailed in this particular area, because I already know that it was fixed. It wouldn't be moved within the build itself. This bridge section I could also model in a relatively detailed manner, because it really doesn't matter where you would place this bridge. The bridge will be on top of the main body of the ship, but it doesn't really matter if it's more in the front or back or in the middle. You can move it basically everywhere on top of this ship. I did make some changes later on because I wanted a radar dish on top, but this one was too big, so I removed that later on. I did incorporate some AMS turrets, so the bridge would be protected against swarmers and other missiles, and it worked out very well for detailing as well. On the next step I took was connecting the bridge itself to the main body of the ship that it would have. And I did add this armor line here in front. You can see it over there as well. You see in some other tutorial type videos that people give tips on how to build, that you can of course use your armor blocks and create an outline and basically frame of the ship what you're going to build, and then build the details later on. This armor line is basically the same. It's just a measurement. Okay, this ship is going to be long, approximately that size, and I have to add stuff to it. Just a reminder for me. Not very detailed, but enough for me to get a hold of it. In this version, I started adding the engine parts at the back, connecting to here, and then slowly adding armor plates and other details to connect it to a main body of the ship, as you can see here. And I did draw a lot of inspiration from the Wavebreaker. I use a lot of elements that I used there as well to get that done. It's not exactly the same, but very similar. And because I did like the engines a lot, I added those as well in a similar manner. A bit more detail, but similar. The third model I've got here, I can show you a bit more of what I was tinkering with. In this version I added the side engine, so it would have more engines for power. And because this engine was connected to this armor section over here, I thought, okay, it needs more body behind it to get a real feel that it is an engine instead of just this part. So I added this block, and then I would connect it to the hole over here. So you could say that it's a bit wing-like, a bit that was added to the main body of the ship itself. I also started experimenting a bit with some detailing over here, added an AMS turret, but yeah, it didn't really work out as I intended, so I removed it. Then I added some of the top, basically adding the gray armor to cut the white armor in half, give it a bit more life, a bit more detail that way. I did something similar with the burning ember, and that worked out very well, so I thought that I could repeat that. And I started doing some more framing, and if I show it you from the side, you can see where I'm going with this, I hope. The way the Wavebreaker, the missile frigate I talked about, was designed, and it was shown on the picture as well, it basically had a main body on top, and then at the bottom it had some structures sticking out that, yeah, basically made the ship look like some futuristic snub gun in that you could hold and fire. I wanted to do something similar with this ship, but more elaborate, more bigger structures, and perhaps more structures even. So one should go back in the back, then one over here, and perhaps if the ship is longer, a smaller one more at the front. And you can see that I started some outlines over here for where something, a main body, should go, and what the volume or size should be. And I did some experimenting or positioning for the main guns for this ship. So as you can see, the further you get from the cockpit and or the core, the less detailed the ship is getting, because those are the later bits I'm adding, and I'm not exactly 100% sure if they will survive the iteration process I'm going through. So that brings us to the latest version of the ship, this one. This gives a clearer picture of where I'm going with this ship, and it already reaches the main size this ship is going to be. It's a little under 300 meters at the moment, but perhaps some antennas will add it to the length a bit, but not much more than that. The gray outline I built here, this area over here in the front, I'm planning to add 2 doors to it that will open basically like a mouth or something, and there the drones will exit the ship or redock. And there should be some main body over here, but I'm still experimenting with that because I'm not all that happy with it at the moment. And I added these parts over here. And the main change, I think, that you can see of course in this version, is the wingy bits I added, because here we still had the engine pod at the side, and then I decided to add a main wingy bit here, and once I added more body, then I decided to add a smaller wingy bit over there to balance it out, and worked out very well, I think. As you can see here, it wraps around the engine pod and then around the back, and then enters here in the rest of the body. This brings us to the bottom of the ship as well. This is the part that is, well, mainly not finished yet. I did add this part, basically the handle of a space gun you would imagine. This is similar, or very similar actually, to what I did for the wavebreaker, even the armor plating I added, but on a bigger scale. And then we have the second lower structure I want to add. It's not going to be this size. I think I'm going to enlarge it a bit and then move it slightly forward, I think. And the plan is to this bit here with the front, to convert that to a hangar bay with some kind of door mechanism that I can park a shuttle in, so some regular transport instead of all the drones that will be in the main hangar bay. The main hangar bay will probably be this front section over here, and then this section over here with the grey plating will probably be some sort of storage facility for cargo grades or something similar. Then you have the section behind that for crew quarters and other things and systems, and well, you get the idea, I think. So that's how far I've gotten with this ship. I'm planning to keep you guys updated regularly on the progress, and hopefully give you some insights how I design and build ships. Hope you like it. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll see you next time.